So I actually don't know what y'all beef is with Anthony Fantano. I mean, I've been watching dude's videos since his Dark Fantasy album review, like in 2010. He has good opinions on hip hop music, not just hip hop, but other genres. I don't get what the beef is, but I guess I'll learn right now. Shout out to Luesta on this video. Go subscribe.
If you're not familiar with Anthony Fantano, the host of the infamous music review channel, The Needle Drop, which analyzes genres all across the board. Since his first post 14 years ago, the self-proclaimed internet's busiest music nerd has grown a platform that gets the attention of even the biggest name artists.
And this is the crazy part right here, right? Even the homie Luesta, right? And let me just use Luesta as an example. What were his oldest videos? I was looking at this like last week. Album reviews, like a lot of us, like me. My earliest videos are album reviews. What were the views? What is that? Lil Sky, Shelby, 324. Schoolboy Q, 128. Num Num Juice. Chopsticks, 99 views. And when you look at my videos, my album reviews, the numbers are not much different, right? If not less. Anthony Fantano, 4.4 million views on an album review. He didn't clickbait the title. Yo, this Tyler album sucked, or this Tyler album is amazing. It's just simple. Tyler the Creator, Igor album review. And a thumbnail. No clickbait. The fact that he can drive this many viewers to a simple album review is crazy, because anybody in this space, we know album reviews is not like the content. The people want to see controversy. They want to see beef, documentaries, or interviews. The fact that Fantano can drive a 4.4 million, or what was right, the number right here, 239,000 on a song, not even an album,
has grown a
2.1 million on a Yeezus. You gotta give the man his credit.
Platform that gets the attention of even the biggest name artists, for better or worse.
You talking shit about me having lyrics that are repetitive?
That's not my. It's not my
Who
question.
is that?
Okay.
Well, I saw your fucking review.
It's not my fucking question.
7 you gave me.
At his level of
A 7 is a good number. A 7 means you had a 7 means your album is like one step away from being great. You're one small change, maybe it's a song or two, or the way it's sequenced, from being great. So like freaking out like that, I don't know who Oliver Tree is, but freaking out like that over a 7, it's not a good look.
popularity, not all of your work is met with praise. And when it comes to the world of hip hop, Fantano is constantly having to defend his often unpopular opinions. He even managed to make some enemies along the way. My name is Luesta, and this is why
Shout
hip
out
hop
the boy
doesn't
Luesta.
respect Anthony Fantano. Anthony
I respect
Fantano's
him,
decision
though.
to review
No
hip hop
lie.
has always been met with a divided opinion across the internet. And his supporters are often stating that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, even in music. Among those who admire his work in this regard are rappers, like Joey Badass, who appeared on his stream a couple of years ago.
Thank you for giving me a platform, man. I've been a
Facts.
fan for years. You know what I'm saying? I think what you do is great. Keep pissing people off. You know
That's
what I
what
mean?
I do.
It is your fucking calling, dude. It's your fucking calling. So you take that shit by the fucking nuts and you keep going. You know?
There you
At the
go.
same time,
Maturity.
plenty of people out there despise the fact that Fantano has dipped into hip hop, claiming that he's
Yo, that's
just a
early Fantano right there.
suburban dude that speaks on music from the streets, has clear biases, and that some people ride his dick like he's some sort of music genius.
Suburban dude. So let's speak on this. Suburban kids can't speak on music from the streets. A lot of the music from the streets that y'all listen to, these rappers who y'all think are street guys and all this, they're not street guys. It's like Jay-Z said in a takeover, you ain't live it, you witnessed it from your folks' past. You scribbled in your notepad and created your life. They wasn't doing what they talking about in their raps. They either saw somebody do it or they saw a fucking movie and are rapping about some fantasy shit. I'm talking about the rappers. So pretending like just because someone's from the suburbs, like who many of you people who are watching this who are from the suburbs can't speak on hip hop, it's dumb. If you want to say he can't speak on hip hop, you gotta articulate it better than this. Calling him a suburban dude and his music from the streets, that's not it. And all hip hop is not street music. That's facts. Where am I? Facts.
because he listens to multiple genres. The truth is, Fantano considered these possibilities long ago, and initially decided to steer clear of hip-hop when he first launched his channel, knowing problems could arise if he didn't. But the quality of early 2010s rap was worth talking about.
Yeah, 2010 is like one of the greatest years in hip-hop history. 2010 and also 2018. A lot of people sleep on 2018. A lot of great albums. I would be happy to discuss it if you would like to hear it.
And it got him back into the genre.
I got a whole
Names
list.
Like A$AP Rocky, Danny Brown, Kendrick Lamar, and most notably,
Kanye.
Death Grips.
Death Grips.
I didn't feel
Money
100% comfortable with reviewing it, and it did make me even more uneasy doing so when at first, when I started to cover it, around 2010, I was getting a lot of reactions like, you don't really like the genre, why the fuck are you reviewing it? Your opinions on all this shit are like super stupid and head ass and all this other stuff.
He started hitting controversy with rap fans when his
You gotta have some controversy though. Once you start getting haters, that's when you know you're starting to take off a little bit. So that's a good thing.
rating of classic albums like DS2, Damn, House of Balloons, and most infamously, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, missed the mark.
I enjoyed a lot of what I heard here. I just didn't like a lot of the drama that this thing served up because it just doesn't feel all that relevant. I'm feeling a light to decent 6 on this thing, but that...
So why are people so bent out of shape about a 6? As to somebody who reviews album, myself, I review many albums. I reviewed like hundreds of them on my channel. You guys have seen many of them. A 6 means your album is above average. Like your album is like basically a 6 means it's pretty good. Like if it was a strong 6, it means it's good. 7, really good. 8, great. 6 means it's a good album. Why are people so bent out of shape about this? He even started this by saying, I enjoyed a lot of what I heard on here. I just don't like the drama.
Missed the mark.
I enjoyed a lot of what I
Which
heard.
there was a lot of drama on Dark Fantasy. Let's keep it real.
Here. I just didn't like a lot of the drama that this thing served up because it just doesn't feel all that relevant. I'm feeling a light to decent 6 on this thing, but that's just my opinion.
To this day, this is among the most infamous...
The thing is, if Fantano really wanted to, if his MO was just to piss people off, he would be going way harder than what he just went right there. Like he gave a fair review. If his thing is what people say it is, he just wants to piss people off to get views, he would have went way harder right there.
Views from Fantano, and the video currently sits at just over 69,000 dislikes.
That's the first video I saw from him.
But backlash on reviews like these hasn't fazed Fantano, and he believes they are outweighed by the power that his platform has to uplift young rising stars in the game.
I think a lot of people came to realize that, you may not agree with everything that I say. I may come from a different background than a lot of other rappers do, but I can still appreciate the genre. I appreciate what makes it great. I appreciate when, I've done what I can to put artists on in the genre. I've literally used my platform to boost the careers of artists who before didn't really have much going on in terms of buzz or attention.
That's
And
facts.
I, personally know that from my reviews, there are at least a handful of
He being humble, but let me be not humble for him. Fantano react to any of your albums, that album is going to see a spike in views for that week. The week that he reacted to it, you're going to get a spike in listens. Your streaming numbers are going to go up. Everything for your music video, like he's going to drive engagement on that album when he reviews it. That is facts.
artists who have gotten signed.
This is the core of Fantano's hip-hop presence, a struggle between his undoubted influence and contribution and the people who refuse to recognize his qualifications within the genre.
And the fact that Fantano also reviews other music, to me that's a plus, because he's going to have a different perspective. Like when I went into, back in like 2011, 2012, when I really started getting into reviewing albums, when I felt like I needed to improve my skills on album reviews to get a better perspective, I listened to surf rock, garage rock, indie pop. I'm listening to these different music genres. I'm on Rate Your Music, looking at the charts, looking at every album that's not rap, listening to it, folk music, like I'm, in the airplane under the sun. I'm doing all that to try to culture myself. So the fact that he's already has that background, yes, for me, somebody from the culture, as you would say, it gives his reviews a little more weight because he's going to be hearing and listening for stuff, and he's going to notice stuff in the music that someone who doesn't have that background, they're not going to hear that. So yes, for me, it gives him a leg up.
Thus, for every lyrical shout out from rappers like Marilyn Wood,
so he's mad because Fantano probably called his music garbage, which that little clip was garbage. That's fact.
Facts.
there also has to be some kind of negativity to go along with it.
I never
If
noticed
Anthony
that on the
Fantano
album.
is truly the internet's busiest music nerd, it might explain the fact that he doesn't seem to have time to digest certain projects to their fullest potential. Shortly after the release of Cherry Bomb, Tyler the Creator turned to Twitter and blasted the critic for already negatively grading the project.
Album been out for 30 hours. How the fuck can you review it, listen to it for a while? Sorry to break it to some of you artists. A lot of y'all albums do not take... Me, when I review an album, I try to give it at least 3 listens, right? And in those listens, I try to have them in different settings. I don't want to just listen to the album 3 times in a row at my laptop. At least 1 at my desk at my laptop, 1 at the gym, or 1 at the desk and, you know, at my laptop, 1 in the car. A lot of y'all artists though, hip hop, it don't take all that. I do my reactions, which are first listen. For a lot of y'all albums, it only takes 1 listen, bro. Tyler, I wouldn't say he's in that boat. Tyler, I'll give him his listens. But I'm saying, a lot of you niggas, it don't take more than 30 albums to sit with your albums. It's just, y'all don't be that deep with it, you know what I mean?
But not because his feelings were hurt. He was just shocked that a review had come out only 30 hours after the release, and pointed out some of the confines that Fantano seems to put rap under in his critiques. Ever since, Fantano has lightened up on Tyler, and in turn, the rapper has left him alone. But the sentiments he put out have continued to echo through other artists.
Notice, they only got a problem when the when the album review is not good. When the album review is good, it's like, oh, I have nothing to say. Well, when that lets you know they're watching his. This is how you know Fantano is a top dog. When he gives him a low rating, it's issues. They talking. Anytime you could drop an album review and get the artist to respond to you, that lets you know you're at the finish line, bro. You made it, bro. Like, you're literally at the finish line that a journalist or a reviewer will be at. When you speak, they react. Finish line. But when the reviews are good, Tyler has nothing to say. Let him give you a 6 or a 7. Oh my gosh, this nigga not from the culture. Shut your ass up.
Like Isaiah Rashad. Following a long hiatus, the TDE prodigy re-emerged with his long-awaited album, The House is Burning, in 2021.
Which I didn't think was that great of an album, honestly.
Around quality had fans.
It was all right. The House of Burning was all right. I have the reaction on my channel. First listen. I enjoyed it, but am I gonna give this like a great, amazing 8, 9, 10? No, I'm gonna give it like a 6. A 7. I do out of 5. I'll give this like 3, 3.5. You know what I mean? Maybe 4 if he did a couple things different. But 3.5 type shit. You know what I mean?
Overjoyed. But Fantano was underwhelmed by the singles and rated the album a 5 out of 10 on his review. It started to seem like projects that don't meet the caliber of Igor or Timp a Butterfly were going to be discarded, which pushed Isaiah.
I don't agree with that. I've seen. I don't watch all of Fantano's reviews, but I don't agree. I don't think Fantano is just weighing every single hip hop album against To Pimp a Butterfly and Igor. I just don't get that from him.
To air out his frustration. He's not employed by a magazine. He literally chooses to make money by getting views of hate bombing people. It's poor journalism too.
So he's not employed by a magazine. Is that a burn? This nigga Fantano is making way more money than any magazine out there. He's one person. He's not like he's represented by the Fader. No, he's represented by himself. He chooses to make money by getting views off of hate bombing people. That's what I would disagree. I think Fantano doesn't hate bomb. I think if he, like I said earlier, if he was really focused on hate bombing and using that to get views, he would go way harder on y'all albums. He's simply saying, I don't like this. This is why. This is the score. Y'all issue is, this is the issue. Fantano breaks down why he doesn't like your album so well, it pisses you off. Because when you recorded that album, you might have noticed some of the things, or as he's critiquing it, you might be noticing truths about it and it pisses you off. It's different than a dude just coming in saying, yo, this album's trash, throw it in the garbage. There's no merit. Fantano is putting merit. I don't like it, and this is why. Boom, 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 boom. And y'all are seeing truths in that, and you don't like it.
It sparked a full-fledged battle where Zay fans were coming at Fantano, and even TDE's president Punch got involved when he asked a critic to explain his process for reviewing black music. There were a lot of
For reviewing black music. Come on, bro. Like, so I'm a black dude, so if I go and I review like some white rock band's music, and I know rock is historically a black genre, you telling me I can't go review Adele's album, I can't go review Fleetwood Mac because I'm not white? It just doesn't make sense.
Fantano, and even TDE's president Punch got involved when he asked a critic to explain his process for reviewing black music. There were a lot of people on the side of Rashad.
Not relevant.
After all, he did release an incredible project.
See, Fantano's, he's in a place where he can't really say, like, it's not relevant. This is just how I feel about the music. Cancel culture, all this, motherfuckers are sensitive, but I'm gonna say it for him. It's not relevant, bro. Now, if Fantano is critiquing a part of the album that deals directly with, you gotta be a part of the culture to know what he's talking about, and let's say Fantano misunderstands a punchline because there's a cultural part that he doesn't get, then you could come in with that critique. You don't understand the cultural relevance. But just musically critiquing the beats, the production, the lyrics, you don't have to be black to do that. I mean,
but there were still plenty of those left wondering
it's not
what
rocket
the hell
science.
everyone was thinking. Anthony knew he would have to settle the score, and when an IG live with Punch fell through, he instead uploaded a video and repeated a familiar point of defense.
I did, and I've been doing this for 10 years, if you don't remember, and what I'm gonna get hate for at this point is pretty predictable. I appreciate the varying opinions on the record. I appreciate the content of the record, but as much of that element of the album is good, I can't use that to reconcile the fact that I just find the record underwhelming. So I have to be honest with you.
And I would agree with that. I would agree. Isaiah Rashad, The House is Burning. It's not bad. He doesn't say it's bad. It's underwhelming. That means he had higher expectations for Isaiah Rashad. So it's almost saying, like, I expected you to do better. It doesn't mean you didn't meet expectations. It was just kind of slightly below. It was just underwhelming. It doesn't mean it's bad. Underwhelming means there were a lot of songs on the album that I really liked. But maybe the sequencing wasn't right, or there was more songs I didn't like. Why are you so offended by that?
About how I feel.
It's not always his opinion that causes problems, as what people consider cultural ignorance has gotten him into trouble as well, like a beef with Wale. Following the release of 2017's Shine, Anthony has some critiques for
and we know Wale fucking complain about everything. Let's see.
Wale's attempt to create unique rhythms by incorporating international sounds on the song My Love. And in his words, Wale called out what he felt was Fantano's gross lack of understanding and awareness.
Wow, man, ugly attempt at Caribbean. So I'm guessing Fantano said that it was an ugly attempt at Caribbean music. Man, that's Afrobeat. That's my Naija culture. Yeah, Wale is Nigerian, Nigerian. I was born into this sound. This is our sound. All right, so Wale, newsflash. Just because you're Nigerian doesn't mean that you cannot make just because you're Nigerian doesn't mean that all your Afrobeat songs are good. You can make an Afrobeat song that's not good. Now, whether you want to hear that from Fantano or from another Nigerian, that's on you. But being Nigerian, being Niger, doesn't mean that all of your Afrobeat songs that you try are invincible to critique. It doesn't mean they're just all automatically good, right? So, newsflash. I don't know if you knew that.
But rather than take the situation seriously and clear the air, Fantano took to YouTube and made a mockery out of it. A tactic that he would go on to use many times to avoid.
I would have did the same thing.
Apology to Wale. Wale, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings.
Hey, I would have did the same thing. Get out your feelings. Stop acting like a nigga. Don't act like a bitch.
I'm sorry I fucked up talking to you on Twitter. I was getting crazy. I was getting wild. I was a total mess. and I hope you can accept my apology. I'm just apologizing to you man to man. I didn't mean to make you upset. I didn't mean to hurt you. I shouldn't be so crazy with, the critiques on Twitter, because at the end of the day, your music is a reflection of you.
I would have just told you to shut the fuck up. He's giving you more than what I would have gave you. He's trying to respect you. I would have told you to shut the fuck up.
I'm sure you feel. Again, I'm sure you're a good guy, and I apologize, and hopefully you can accept my apology.
So the thing is, Fantano started off like he was on bullshit a little, but then I think that was a sincere apology. Like by the time, like he ended it different than he started it. By the time he ended it, it felt like a sincere apology. I would have just told you to get out your fucking feelings and the STFU. And I'm from the culture. So he gave you more than I gave you. Fuck all this apology shit. Shut your ass up. Well, where's my...
Shut the fuck
Facts.
All right, that was my apology to Wale. Sent in from a daddy. $5 apology right there.
Since no real compromise was ever really made between them, other rappers started chiming in like Vince Staples, who claimed they needed to squabble up. That's classic Vince, and speaking of him, even he isn't the biggest fan of Fantano.
I'm gonna be real with y'all, never been a huge fan of Vince Staples' music at all.
Rap culture, despite regularly getting decent grades from him. As far back
Okay,
as the
7 8,
release
you
of his
get
debut
great,
album, Summertime
relatively decent, Luisa, you my guy, but the 7s and 8s, those are great reviews. Those are great grades from him.
6, Vince was aware of the needle drop. And from the outset, he seemed to slyly suggest that Fantano didn't really understand black culture.
It's great,
Oh
Anthony
my
Fantano.
God, like, unless y'all albums are full of just black cultural references, you niggas are not dropping To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick. You niggas are not dropping It Takes a Nation of Millions by Public Enemy. You niggas are not dropping America's Most Wanted by Ice Cube. So all this, he needs to understand black culture to critique our music. You niggas, Vince Staples, I want to say you, right? Because Vince Staples, he actually has like a lot of times subject matter in his music. But a lot of y'all, it doesn't require that. You did not drop goddamn Return of the Boom Bap like you KRS-One, where you need some black consciousness to understand the sound of the police. Stop with this shit. They're using that because it's the one thing, it's the most obvious tool you can use against Fantano to try to discredit his reviews. He's not black. But instead of saying he's not black, so he can't critique my music, because that sounds ignorant, you say he lacks black cultural knowledge. He's not from the culture. What you really want to say is, this white dude can't critique my music. But he can. Your music is not just layered with black consciousness and cultural references to where he can't understand it. Stop with this shit, bro.
Fantano gave us a 6 out of 10, so I want to thank you for the kind words of encouragement. We love you even though you don't love us.
After receiving a 6 out of 10,
So he's hurt. So that lets you know he's hurt. And I know a lot of y'all like Vince Staples. Again, I've never been a huge fan of Vince Staples. Y'all think he's the funniest man on earth. Like, I think he has funny moments. The thing is, I have homies that are like Vince Staples. I mean, similar sense of humor type shit. So I see this stuff often. So for me, it's not as much ingenuity as when you see it and you've never seen anything like it. And personally, I don't really like any of Vince Staples' albums like that. I like certain songs. So I know like me critiquing Vince Staples is not going to sit well with some of you, but that's a horrible take.
2 of his most acclaimed projects, Vince was unbothered and carried on with his life until Fantano stuck his nose where
Big Fish Theory by Vince Staples was not good.
Shouldn't have.
There, I said it.
After commenting on a Twitter beef between Vince and metal vocalist Ronnie Radke, the Cutthroat Boy wasted no time coming at the critic with heat and suggested
Ain't you get caught being all right? This ain't a good day to interact with me, bro. So I'm giving out the focus. Okay, so let's say Fantano is alt-right. What does that have to do with his critiques about your music? Oh, because he's white, he can't speak on black. So let's say he was a black alt-right, because they're a black alt-right. And he's from your hood. So he's from your hood, your culture. Could he then critique your music? Think about what you're saying.
For being alt-right, this ain't a good day to interact.
Really what they want to say is he's white, he cannot have any negative opinions about my music. If it's a good opinion about my music, like all the white people who show up to my shows, I'm okay with that. What they want to say is a white person cannot have any negative opinions about my music, especially if they're influential.
With me, Brosif, I'm giving out the full clip. Of course, Fantano shot back with some receipts, unfazed, claiming the article he found that information on was a hit.
And I don't think Fantano is all right. I'll just say this. I'll admit my bias. Like, I've had conversations with Fantano Needle Drop. Obviously, he's a way larger channel. I'm small fry compared to him. Like, he gets, like, I got 10,000 subscribers. He gets that, like, in a day. But I've had conversations based on, and I'm not going to, like, say what we had in those conversations. It wasn't crazy or super long, but based on what I know about dude in the private conversations I've had with him, this is not, like, somebody that's racist, in my opinion. That's just me, though. To me, he doesn't strike me. He strike me as a regular dude. You know what I mean? He's just super. The thing is, Fantano is super good at articulating why he doesn't like a certain album. He'll break it down to the core of you as a musician without insulting you. See, if he insulted you or your family or something, it would be easy to just take a personal shot at him and being like, yo, don't talk about my family, you foul. But because he's only critiquing the music and he's doing it so well, there is no real way, and you know some of what he's saying to be true, there is no way you can respond to his critique except for lashing out and saying he's not black, he can't critique my music, which is basically what everyone says. He's not from the culture. All that shit means the same thing. If he was super messy and was like, yo, talking about families and who's from this hood and that hood and who's beefing, it would be easy to take him down. Yeah, he's destructive. He's getting people killed. He's not doing that. He's only critiquing your music. You take it offensive because you know some of those critiques to be true and you don't know how to respond. That's y'all issue as rappers.
Up to his most recent project, Fantano is a huge fan of Vince's and has tweeted about wanting to meet up at a show in Connecticut. But it's safe to say that the Long Beach rapper feels differently.
If you can pick any way to murder.
So this is cornball shit. This y'all guy though, like I said, I've never been a huge fan of Vince Staples like that. This y'all guy though, this that corny shit.
Whoa. In cold blood. I'm not gonna.
How hurt are you about an album review? He's not talking about your dead homies. He's not interviewing a dude who murdered your homie or your family member. All he's doing is listening to your album and giving an opinion. You are so in your feelings. You are on here talking about how will we murder this man. This is cringy, corny. I know y'all love Vince Staples. Y'all are not used to people critiquing Vince Staples because people rarely do. But this is cringy, corny. Come on, call it what it is.
What I'm gonna say is if I had my choice, I would get a boat. I would dock the boat east side of Long Beach, off Ocean by the Roof Chris. Drag him on the boat
I lived out
by
there.
his feet. He's kind of.
Well, I lived in Lakewood.
Drag him on the boat by his feet. Put him on the back of the boat. Take his. After you take his, leave him on Catalina Island. You cut him open and you leave him with the goats.
Corny.
Your beef, though.
I don't have one. I just don't like.
I don't have one, but I would murder him.
That talk about rap music and don't like it.
I just don't like niggas who talk about rap music and don't like it. But the thing is, Fantano has rap music album review, and I'm coming to his defense. This is in defense of Fantano. I mean, he has plenty of rap music that he likes, which is on his channel. He's reviewed it. What Vince Staples meant to say is, I don't like people who talk about my music and don't like it. That's what he meant to say. Because Fantano has, you can watch his channel, he has rap music that he likes. What Vince Staples' issue is, I don't like people who talk about my music and don't like it. And I especially don't like it if you're white. I would just respect it more if Vince would just come out and say it.
Yeah, I was saying shit about
fair.
that today. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like blackface journalism.
Shut your ass up, man.
Somehow,
And he knows he gets good grades. He knows Fantano rates his albums good. So what? So Fantano does have rap music that he likes. He likes your music, right? Okay, so what are you talking about?
Isn't the only rapper that Fantano has received some serious death threats from, as we'll see later in this video. Other artists like Killer Mike have pointed out to Fantano's seemingly shallow understanding of black art, who noted a sudden drop in approval after he moved away from
His opinion on the life and culture cannot be possibly understood as laughable and shows the arrogance of the outsider or colonizer. I encourage all to listen and feel something special. Michael, a truly black Southern American experience. Right? So I'm black. I'm not from the South. I'm from the West. I'm from California. I like this album. Michael, I like it. It's on my channel. First reaction. So what do you say to me? It's a black Southern experience, but I listened to that album and I caught a lot of the references and I like the album. So because I like the album, does that negate? What if I said I didn't like the album? Then you would say, well, you're not from the South, but I like the album. So then what would you say? I'm not white. You can't use that against me. Like y'all see what I'm getting at here?
typical
Stop this shit,
projects. A similar sentiment was shared amongst emerging mumble rappers as the genre began sweeping the charts, with artists like Lil Xan and Trippie Redd being completely shit on in Fantano's reviews. In Trippie's case,
rightfully
he went onto
so.
Instagram
Them
to
niggas
voice his
trash.
frustration when Fantano gave his Pegasus album a strong 1 out of 10. Bro, he said the same shit about XXXTentacion's album. Who cares? Dude's reviews be trash. But he clearly cared more than he let on, and complained that Fantano was still calling him trash when he believed he put out a versatile project with the Explanation Point album. While for Lil Xan, he was really blunt.
These boys is hurt. Hey yo, Fantano got these boys hurt. Get out your feelings.
Oh, really? Needle drop.
You don't like him?
But they going in interviews. You got Vince Staples. You got Little Peep or Little Xan. I don't know which one this is. You got these dudes coming in interviews just to say fuck Needle Drop. That's on their mind. Dudes, Adam 22, Big Boy in the Morning, they are not about to ask you about the Needle Drop's random album review on YouTube. They took it upon themselves to be like, yo, fuck Needle Drop. This has been on my mind since I saw his review. Why is it on their mind? Many things rang true for them. Their issue is, this nigga Fantano breaks down the album so well, it sticks with him. Certain critiques, it's like, how did he know that? He said my album sounded rushed. Yeah, we did do this shit in 2 weeks. I did have a time limit. How did he know that? He said this, he said that, he said it's boring. Like, I did kind of feel that song was like some of the stuff me and the producer were doing, I wasn't feeling. It was kind of, why is he saying it though? How did he know? This is their issue. It's too many truths that ring true for them.
Oh yeah, he dissed you hard.
I think he with the Needle Drop. I think he's biased. He knows a
I think everybody has bias.
lot about alternative rock and all that weird stuff, but when it comes to rap, I think he has no, because he gave Little Peep.
He has no what? So you gonna have two lily white boys telling Fantano he can't speak on black culture, right? Hip hop culture. This doesn't even make sense. This is like Inception. And y'all can't see it. Just because Lil Xan or Little Peep, whatever one you are, you got on a Public Enemy shirt. You think you're a part of hip hop culture. Y'all can't see the Public Enemy shirt with Rev Run and the crosshairs. Stop this, man.
Like a 1.
Really?
And then 2 weeks later, Lil Peep's dead. You know what I mean? So
Wait,
Lil
hold
Peep's
on. What? Let me hear that again. No way.
The
No
rap,
way.
I think he has no, because he gave Little Peep like a 1.
Really?
And then 2 weeks later, Lil Peep's dead.
So wait, is he responsible for Lil Peep's death? Okay, so this is Lil Xan, R.I.P. Lil Peep. I ain't trying to disrespect nobody. He gave Lil Peep's album a 1, and then 2 weeks, Lil Peep is dead. So are you trying to say Anthony Fantano's album review killed him? What are you talking about, bro?
You know what I mean? So, and Little Peep's a great artist. So the Needle Drop, I think you have no way to speak on rap.
You got a lily white boy telling another white boy, but a white boy who actually knows music, Fantano, that he can't speak on rap. What type of shit is this?
Red to Tyler the Creator, there's an undeniable pattern in the issues that rappers hold with Fantano. Still, his ever-present criticism has remained a thorn in their sides, for some worse than others, such as Eminem, who Fantano received a slight diss from after years of torment in his reviews. Every old head talks about Eminem as one of rap's goats, and truthfully, he really is. But we can't deny the tough breaks he has faced from critical modern audiences, with Fantano at the forefront.
Yeah, I wouldn't say from critical modern audiences. I just think Eminem's latest releases are not as good as his earlier stuff. I think it's fair to say that. I don't think it's modern audiences. I think Eminem just has not. I think he's gotten worse in the last 10 years, 15 years.
Is awful. Since Revival, Shady has battled his perceived fall off, which he blames the internet for, as tastemakers like Fantano create a culture that he has to try to combat.
Maybe because it doesn't sound like everything else and what most people are doing, maybe that was what tainted their ear. Because I remember a time.
No. Stop with the mental gymnastics, bro.
Time in hip hop where you had to be so different from the next person, or you.
I remember a time in hip hop, Eminem, where you didn't need to rap super fast to spit a hot verse. Nowadays, I feel like when you want to spit a hot verse, you just rap super fast. I remember at a time in hip hop, Eminem, when you was on Dre albums, you was having Dre beats. What's the difference? XYZ. You was spitting great verses without feeling the need to rap 100 miles an hour and with these corny ass punchlines like a shepherd having sex with his sheep. Fuck what you heard. I remember a time where you didn't do that. So is it the modern audience or are you losing your touch? Is shock value not hitting the same way for you like it did in 2000, 1999, 2001? When you talk about Megan Thee Stallion shot in her foot, this and that, it don't hit the same way as your Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears bars from 2001, does it? I remember a time where it hit. If we remember in times,
were trash. There's a shift somewhere that happened that if it doesn't sound like everything else, then it's trash automatic.
That's cope. That's cope. It's not about sounding like everyone else. Your shit just not good right now, though. Like that, though. Like, facts.
Eminem never forgets. Facts! And as he raged against the critic through the kamikaze era, Fantano would eventually find himself on the wrong side of the track, specifically Calm Down with Busta Rhymes.
Fucking internet bloggers. I sit in front of my computer all day comment.
So this is Eminem talking about it's the internet's fault that people think my music sucks, but then he's spitting shit like this.
On everything, I'm an expert on everything. Everything sucks.
Who the fuck wants to listen to some shit like that?
Fantano responded with humor and
let me stop cursing.
Levity, which is all that he really ever gave anyone when he found himself in the crosshair.
So this Eminem man dissed me in a song that he's in, where he's rippity rap.
Then we got more info on how Eminem really felt about Fantano when his artist Boogie did an interview claiming that M advised him to not listen to his reviews.
Like you said, he tells you a lot of things, but what's something you always carry with you?
Two things. This how you know you got influence. Eminem is telling his artists, don't listen to this man's review. Yo, Fantano, you're a legend, bro. That's how you know you made it.
This is me not taking blogs personal when they give me like bad ratings. Like it was dude.
And he's not I said I was gonna stop cursing. He's not a blog. It's a YouTube channel, bro. Do you know what a blog is? Two dope boys, not right? Fantano's not a blog.
Named Anthony Fantano. I love that name dropping. His name like Needle Drop on YouTube. He like famous for like.
They be so in their feelings. The interviewers, we saw Vince Staples, we saw Lil Xan, and now we're seeing Boogie. They're not even asking you about this man, but they all name drop him. Needle drop, all his reviews. Oh my God. Think about it. They get hate and they get love on a daily basis. They probably get more love than hate. Why are Fantano's reviews sticking so much to them? Because there's truth in it that they don't hear often.
Rating people albums. Oh Lord. So he gave me like a 7.5, and obviously my brain, I think I'm supposed to have 100 out of 10. He gave Eminem a 2. So Eminem was like, yo, he give me bad grades every time. You can't take that personal because like some people just not gonna understand it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have consistent belief in myself. It can't be based off of.
That's true too. That's
true. Recently as M's Houdini was released, Fantano has continued to rip him apart.
Which was not good. Houdini was not good. I done a reaction to it on my channel. It was not good.
To the point that even some of his fans are pointing out that it just seems like pure disdain at this point.
Ooh, hold on. Fantano got this Mad Lib vinyl. I got this same Mad Lib vinyl. Hold on.
To the point that even
This one right here where he's shooting the cops. I got this same Mad Lib Loop Digger vinyl. Shout out to Fantano.
some of his fans are pointing out that it just seems like pure disdain at this point. With Eminem, Fantano's issues seem to come from believing that Shady should have more to say at this point in his career.
That's
But
true.
one artist he could stand to hear less from is Drake. With the notable exception of if you're
Alright, so Fantano, this is the one time I'm gonna get at you in this video. This hair and hat combo, this hair and beanie combo with the bumblebee flannel, it's a strong one. It's a strong one. The hair, it's a light one. But the combo is a strong one. I see the vision, but hell nah.
reading this is too late mixtape, Fantano has never been a big fan of the Six God and criticized how he moved through hip-hop. At one point, he even complained about his use of Afrobeat and Jamaican rhythms, only to be shut down and told that he was being ignorant.
Something that's been looming larger and larger and larger on Drake's project since he dropped the dreadfully boring Views from the Six.
Facts. Yo, facts. Talk to them. Views, the thing about Views is Views had great singles. Views from the Six, Drake. Great singles. One Dance, Controller, I think Feel No Ways was on there. But the album as a whole, it don't stand up. The singles were amazing, great. But the whole album, I agree, boring.
And Certified Lover Boy, I think, is the most punishing of these 90-minute
Too long.
marathons that Drake has been dropping as of late. And that's mostly due to a lack of memorable songs and even memorable performances.
Yo, this is why they be mad. This is why they be mad. He critically break down your shit boring, this and that, this and that. It's different than someone just saying, yo, you trash. You could easily discard that. But when they really breaking it down to you, 90-minute marathons that you draw, yo, the shit's not, it's kind of boring, yo, this song, that's when it stick with you and it hurts you. Then you see he got 1 million views on this shit, then you really hurt. That's why they feel this way.
Drake himself. Like, he is legitimately outshined by every feature on this project, even the ones that don't even sound like they're trying all that hard. Hello, Travis Scott.
Fantano's tolerance for Drizzy reached the lowest point of not good for honestly never mind, at which point the OVO leader decided to clap back. What first surfaced was a typical comical input from Anthony, who claimed that Drake had DM'd him a cookie recipe and made an entire 8-minute video about it.
What? I'm not messaging you about your videos. I'm actually messaging you because I found a really great vegan cookie recipe I'd love you to try. Drake is sending me a vegan cookie recipe.
With the video racking up nearly 1 million views shortly after its release, the Six God would reveal what really took place on his Instagram story, where he said,
"This one, you know, you win in Fantano. You got Drake clarifying himself for you. That you won, bro. Legend, bro. It's over. Game over.
Your existence is a light one, and the one is because you are alive. And cause you somehow wifed a black girl. I'm feeling a light to decent one on your existence. Now, it's not really
using your lingo. That's how you know he done watched your videos. Drake watched every single review that Fantano got of his albums on his channel. How does he know the light one, strong one shit? You gotta ask yourself, why did he watch every review? Because there's truth to it.
clear what Drake was going for here, as it obviously backfired and painted him as a childish, dramatic hater who couldn't handle a low score from an internet nerd.
He posts the real messages himself. It make Drake look like the most bitter, emotional, passive-aggressive loser.
Talk to
I've
him,
ever
Sean
seen.
C.
I just don't get what type of response you think that this is gonna breed from people. No one outside of the yes men and the peers that you have are gonna look at this and be like, ha, you really got him. They're gonna be like, oh, you watch this dude unironically who shits on your music, and this is the best response that you could come up with? A barrage of
why
messages
respond
that
at
look
all?
Like they came off the back of you drinking too early in the evening.
Fantano has continued reviewing Drake's projects and even gave Her Loss a generous 6, but he didn't.
I would've gave it lower than that.
As Fantano has been relentless during the Kendrick beef. Bro literally wore funeral attire to the Not Like Us Listen stream, and heavily
as he should
on Delilah track.
And all Drake fans can do at this point is seethe and cope and sit there obediently as he shovels trash like this down their throats, which, you know, honestly is like the closest I have come to genuinely feeling bad for Drake fans in a minute. But yeah, I don't want to hear this song ever again for the rest of my life, and yet I know I'm probably going to have to hear it at least a few times more
before I'm in the ground because this is most definitely landing.
That's why they
on my
mad.
worst songs of the year
It's
list.
terrible.
Not every
Deal
Fantano
with
feud
it.
that a rapper may come across has lasted forever though, as was the case with Logic. Bobby Tarantino
Logic.
wasn't exactly beloved by a lot of people at the height of his career, not least of all Anthony Fantano, who has handed him some scathing scores without remorse. But during his retirement, it seems as though he struck a bond with Anthony, but not before his harsh opinions took a major toll on his creative endurance.
Do you guys know Anthony Fantano?
The Melon.
Yeah,
This is how every rapper starts talking about Fantano. They're in a totally unrelated interview. Then it's on their mind rent free so much. They just, do you guys know Fantano? They're like, sure, but that's not what we were talking about. It's like, oh my gosh, you reviewed my album and I'm just so hurt about it. He gave me a light 6. This nigga's Fantano's reviews are so good. It's living in your head like this. Y'all are spitting out his name when people don't even ask about him. Think about that.
He would review my music ever since my mixtapes, and it would always like fuck me up because he would always basically say how I wasn't like good enough.
That's
He
true.
wasn't just totally shitting on me. He would give
Logic was good, but listening to his like the Young Sinatra shit, you can hear he's good. Like he raps. I'll listen to it. But as you listen to more of his music, you could hear like, yeah, he's not going to ascend like to the mainstream. He doesn't have like all the tools. You know what I mean? Which is what happened. Logic is a hugely successful rapper. He has his core fan base. If he goes independent, he'll probably be one of the most successful independent artists ever. But he's not like, it's true. Like he doesn't have all the tools to like transcend and consistently drop classic records. He doesn't. That's facts. Facts.
like credit. Like if something's good, he would say it's good. Mind you, it's just his opinion, right? But I find it really funny that after I announced my retirement and stepped away, now me and this dude like text each other and shit. Now he's like, I consider him like a buddy.
They seem to be on good terms, but Anthony will likely keep him at arm's length
Nothing wrong
after
with
the
that.
release of La Donda, a track where Logic admitted to wanting to kill his bald nemesis at one point.
Feel it in my bald spot, Anthony Fantano. I used to fantasize about murdering you.
So Logic, Vince Staples, weird motherfuckers. What's up with you, weird Vince? And I know again, a lot of y'all love Vince Staples. A lot of y'all have never even heard anybody critique Vince Staples because like the common thing on the internet is just to be like infatuated with him. But I mean, that's just not me. Logic, Vince Staples, weird motherfuckers talking about murdering Anthony Fantano because he did an album review that you didn't like. What type of shit is this?
Logic tore him a new one on this track and called his fanbase a legion of fuckboy minions, all of which Fantano has reacted to live on his Twitch, and it was clear that he was
laugh at him.
I'm searching for a word. The word is
cringy.
Embarrassed
For Logic.
I feel embarrassed.
For Logic.
I feel overemphasized. And what I mean by that is like there never should have been any reason why Logic should hate me in the first place. Because I'm just reviewing
albums.
You know,
Right.
You're just one.
You're just reviewing albums.
Many guys.
That you give a low
whose
rating to.
albums I review.
Facts.
He has every right to feel shaken up here. Listening to someone he likely felt comfortable with at this point say they wanted to kill him.
The thing is, they value his opinion so much. When they drop their music and they don't get the rating they thought they deserved, they just go completely insane. That's what it is. But otherwise, they've watched his other reviews, other artists, other genres, they respect them. Then when they drop, they don't get the review, then they just start going crazy. That's what it is.
It's pretty disturbing. But it does suggest that while guys like Vince and Killer Mike feel his opinions are shallow and meaningless, others acknowledge the power.
No. They don't feel his opinions are meaningless. If they felt Anthony Fantano's opinions were meaningless, they would treat Anthony Fantano like a dude on Twitter with no profile picture and 5 followers saying their music is trash. They would read it and then not even remember they read it 5 seconds later. The thing is, they respect Anthony Fantano's opinions. That's why they're so hurt about it.
He holds in the online music community.
Let's
You
break
can
him
debate
down.
all you want about Fantano's credibility, or whether or not the game respects him at the end of the day. But the undeniable truth is his relevance. With that,
They kind of look alike, Logic and Fantano right there. Look like a younger Fantano a little bit, no? No.
Undeniable truth is his relevance. With that, he has remained true to himself and always stuck to his guns in the face of Twitter fingers and trigger fingers. Like the time a Gunna fan pressed him in public.
Oh my gosh, this is so cringy. Not someone from Gunna's team and not Gunna himself. A fan, a random nigga who Gunna does not know. I'm gonna press him about this album review.
Best album in the world. Yes, it is, bro. Sex time shit, bro. We gonna wipe your nose next time.
We gonna wipe your. This is so cringy. So all you people saying Fantano's a suburban dude, he can't review street music. This nigga is probably a suburban dude too. And if he's not, this is how a lot of suburban dudes will react. Dude, we're gonna wipe your nose, dude. Like Gunner, wipe your nose. This is cringy.
We gonna wipe your nose and do that shit again, bro. By ourselves, shit, I ain't playing.
Nothing will faze this man from doubling down on his opinion, as he continued to rate Gunna's work honestly, or at least until he decided to put these relentless fans in their place.
I'm so mad I didn't come up with this first. Falling asleep for a nigga album review, I'm so mad I didn't come up with this first. There are so many albums I could have done this with. I should have done this first. Salute Fantano. I could have done this to a couple niggas' albums. 10 minutes, sleep.
This petty move warranted a response from fans, but also reopens.
He's not part of the culture. Stop with the culture shit. Because a lot of you people talking about the culture, you're not even in the culture. Quickly, if you think you're part of the culture, what are the 4 pillars of hip hop? You got 5 seconds. What are the 4 pillars of hip hop? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you're not a part of the culture. The culture. Y'all don't even know what that means. Y'all saying it's not even black. Hip hop is a part of black culture. And then hip hop is if this is black culture in this big bubble, hip hop is like this much of this bubble. It's a subsect of black culture. And then within hip hop, there's rap, which is like this. So there's black culture, there's hip hop, then there's rap. Rap is one part of hip hop culture. A lot of y'all saying he's not a part of culture. You're not black and you don't even know the 4 pillars of hip hop, so you're not even really in hip hop culture either. So stop with this shit.
Conversation of
I bet Anthony Fantano knows the 4 pillars of hip hop. Okay then, he's more hip hop than a lot of y'all. Shut the fuck up.
Towards hip hop, only reassuring he'll receive a similar sentiment in return. But there's one thing that this genre really values, and that's authenticity. One thing Anthony refused to shy away
Stand
from
on business.
his music opinions. Now armed with a global audience, he clearly isn't going
2.8, 1.8 off album reviews. That's it. It's crazy.
Or stop.
No drama, no covering beefs, deaths, album reviews. I respect it, bro.
Critiquing what he feels isn't contributing to the genre or helping advance it in any way.
Moving on from there. Ian, never stop. This is terrible. Just listen to Playboy Cardi instead.
Bro,
this is awful.
Thank
Save yourself
you.
a stream. Save yourself a minute.
Tell it like it is.
Save yourself a headache.
And for every person who hates him, there are just as many people who defend his contribution to rap discourse and appreciate his place in the game. So while not everyone in the booth or on the mic respects the melon, people aren't going to stop tuning in to hear what he has to say anytime soon. So don't be surprised if a part 2 comes out after he's finished with a new fresh batch of enemies.
Gotta have enemies. Okay, shout out to the boy Luesta. Great video, Luesta. Even though I may have disagreed on some parts, great editing, great script, great everything as always. And Anthony Fantano, I think I said what I needed to say. I have no issue with Fantano, man. Based on the conversations I had with him, he a cool dude. And based off what I know about his channel, I watched Anthony Fantano's reviews in his channel more years ago than I do currently, because now I do album reviews and reactions. I don't really like to hear other people's reviews before I do my own, because I don't want to like repeat what they're saying or regurgitate. But he knows what he's talking about, bro, like musically. And just because you feel like, okay, maybe he won't understand certain cultural things and certain lyrics, but you niggas are not even rapping like that to where it needs to be broken down culturally like that, to where you gotta be black to know what he's talking about, or you gotta be informed. You niggas, a lot of you rappers is talking about fucking each other chicks. I'm in the Benzo, I'm in the Tesla, we getting money, shaking ass, all this. Like, bro, it doesn't take a fucking Minister Farrakhan to break it down. You get what I'm saying? So anyways, that's all you got for today. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.